So today we're going to talk about the worst type of fasting that you could do. There's actually two different patterns that I want to touch on. The first one is the alternate day fasting, where you fast for one day, and then the next day you pretty much eat whatever you want. And there's also a modified version of that. On the day that you're fasting, you're actually consuming about 500 calories. Then you have what's called the 5 and 2, where you're eating whatever you want for 5 days, and then for 2 days, you're going to fast. But this program also allows you to have about 500 calories in the days that you're fasting. So it's not a true fast. Now the question is, why are these two patterns of fasting bad and not recommended? Well, it's because of this. It takes 3 to 7 days for you to get into ketosis. Okay, I mean, like really get into it where you're about 80 to 90% burning ketones. And doing it one day is just not enough time to get into ketosis. With this one, you're pretty much eating whatever you want for 5 days, and then 2 days out of the week you're doing fasting, and of course, if you're doing 500 calories, you're not really fasting, you're just doing a low-calorie diet. You're not going to be able to generate enough ketones for your brain to actually feel good. So you're going to be miserable, you're going to be hungry, you're definitely going to have cravings to carbs, and you're going to be grouchy all the time. And you're probably going to give up and then say that it didn't work. When in fact, it would work if you did maybe a 18 and 6, where you're fasting for 18 hours, and then you have a 6-hour window of eating. So let's say at 12 o'clock noon, you had your first meal, and then at 6 o'clock at night, you had your second meal. This would give you 18 hours of fasting, and you would really benefit from this because your hunger would go away, you wouldn't crave anything, and your mood would be great. You would not be grouchy. A slightly better fasting pattern, if you can do it, which you may need to work up to it, would be 20 and 4. So you're fasting for 20 hours and you have a 4-hour window. And this is pretty much what I do. My first meal is about 3 in the afternoon, and the second meal is at about 7. That gives me 20 hours of fasting. And this produces some seriously good benefits, especially getting rid of your hunger. In fact, even before my first meal, there's absolutely no hunger involved. In fact, it feels like I just ate because I'm living off my own fat. I have absolutely zero cravings, and I am definitely not grouchy. You can ask my wife. There's actually two important takeaways from this. Not only knowing this information right here, but also this information right here. All it takes is a small amount of carbs to knock you out of ketosis for a good amount of time. So if you were to consume, for example, a sandwich or a glass of wine, that amount of carbohydrate could knock you out of ketosis for literally 48 hours. If you want to avoid being miserable doing your fasting, just avoid these two methods. I put up the right method right here if you want to check it out.